Right, hey guys, what's up? We're going to run through and do some streaming here. I'm going to try to do this in one stream here. It's front tee, just for fun, basically. It's my first look at this. You can see here, I'm right on hole one, just came into this bracket, trying to let it fill up a little bit. Because once people start to come in, it just makes it a little bit easier to play. Once you give it that little bit of time. So here you see a slight headwind. Let's just take a look at this. I haven't really been able to see this yet. Looks like we can just barely get there. Well, but since it'll require overpower, this might not be. You can see this is all the topspin I have, and when I look it up here, it looks like it's going to come up short in a headwind. You can see the ball guide not getting there. So you can see that they gave us 25 replays. So why don't we just look for a wind that's somewhat tail. It's worth doing. Here you can see another side wind. Just in the face. If it was just the tailwind, I'd probably go with it. So 5-10 degrees difference, and this is what we're kind of hoping for. So might as well start off on the right foot. Make sure you can get up on the green, and the biggest reason is the tiebreaker. If we can't put up but 1,200, 1,300 on this first hole, it's not a very good start. So what I'm going to try to do this time is we're going to try to play the wind effect. I'm thinking somewhere around here. So you can see I'm kind of intentionally keeping this ball guide to the right, because I know that the wind effect is going to try to correct it out. And we use a little bit of, I'm going to go just more than 4 rings here. Somewhere around here, 4-1, 4-2. A little bit of an overpull there. Maybe just, oh, you know what? I don't even know why I'm on this ball. It's like a waste of a ball. So we're going to switch things up. And we're going to readjust. I should be able to keep this wind. Maybe just change my initial setup. You'll see I'm going to kind of intentionally start it way over here to the right. This one I might just go ahead and calculate. So 6-3. I'll typically go, I'm thinking this is just going to be wind rings, basically. So we're just going to go wind rings pretty straight up, maybe just a little bit of overpower. Should be pretty easy to figure out. Somewhere right around there. And again, like I mentioned, maybe just a touch of overpower. Just to get it landing on that good spot. Here you can see it's coming in, coming in, coming in. Just a little bit hot. We gave it a go, and you can see it was more on line. Now, I haven't seen this setup yet, so we'll just have to kind of play around with that. Maybe just barely take off some start to take off some top spin. I also think the more that you carry that there, the more that it lands on the upslope. You could see that that ball guide was long when it was really short, but the more that I pulled it up, the more that it did try to go into the too much. And with the tailwind on this one, this is a tight looking pin here. This is a really tight looking pin. 6 miles per hour. I don't like the look of this, especially with that much tailwind. Let's see what we got in terms of backspin here. Yeah, the front of this green looks like a little bit long. Since we only got 14 on that last one, especially with, basically a headwind or a tailwind we didn't need, why not just, take one more look here. And look at this. We actually get a wind that we can try to just slightly modify. And again, we're going to go wind rings, and we only wasted one ball. This should hopefully, I'm thinking something along the lines of this. You can see a little bit of, and you can see the more that you push that up, the more that it just kind of runs into the downslope there. So I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of this. Again, just slight overpower, but you can see I'm 2 topspin short this time. And again, we're going to go wind rings. Since we are, I'm going to go maybe just a tad more overpower this time. Just a touch, because you can see we're starting to pull on even lower ground. I'm thinking somewhere more along the lines of this. Let's just see what this looks like. Here it comes in. And again, even this, too much. But not bad. A little bit better. Tiny bit better this time. Again, just a little bit too hard. Let's just go ahead and tap this in real quick. And again, maybe if I overpowered that to the max, it wouldn't have rolled out that much, which is kind of an anomaly. It's kind of a weird thing to say. But it just goes to show you landing short there is a little bit better. And this is a much better wind that I wanted to see, because this makes this almost holdable. So let's try to get aggressive here. And we'll try to put this ball guide to the right, try to straighten out the break. Since it does try to break to the left, just do something along the lines of this. And I'm thinking, what would I do, 115 here, give or take? I'm thinking something along the lines of this into a headwind. But we're going to have to overplay because we have a Pro D1 on. 5-7 is what I'm going to do. Pretty spot up, 5-7. So there you can see some shots coming in. Also kind of dialed in on it. So that's what we're going to try to do as well. Just going to try to land on that front. Bring this in. Thinking maybe right around here. 5-7. Let's just see what this looks like. Oh, there it is. So just like that, we got our points back. And we got hole 2. So I told you we'd be able to get aggressive there. And just like that, we got our points back. So now let's see what we got. Another tailwind here. So let's see what we can do with this. 9-0. Do you think this is enough to get up there? It looks like the worst thing about this is the curl. I don't think I have enough curl. So I might need to go V'ger. Oh no, here's what's going to happen though with the V'ger. So we're going to be taking the wind down even more. And that's kind of what I was mentioning to him when I told him that they kind of nerfed that. I don't like that that ball is nerfed. You know, we can't really. So the only other alternative, and I'm worried about it being too much, is if I go Pro D1. I think this might get there. But I think I have to be fairly aggressive here. So I'm going to try to land right near the rough. You can see I'm being very risky with my drive here. Let's just see. As long as that registered is perfect, we should be good. It looks like it did. Oh, but it does just come up short. You can see we just come up short here, unfortunately. And what I'll do with this one is we'll just switch. So that's kind of one of those tough spots, because I bet you I would have had to take off power. I bet you I would have had to take off power. So we are going to Atlas. I wonder if I could do something about minimizing those. With the new update, I don't know if you guys have seen, but 2.8. We're on it a little bit different. So in case you guys haven't seen it yet, I can show you I was messing around with it a little bit ago. So all I'm going to try to do, I'm going to just try to straighten this up just a touch. You can see that I'm just trying to make the ball guide right on the pin. So that way, in the event that it is coming in a little hot, at least it doesn't ricochet off. That's one of those just fine-tuning things where you just want to make sure that you do get that, and that's why I just put that light side spin on. But I don't know if you guys saw this yet, but if I was to click on, you know, this is this guy's card. You can see I can click right on it, see what he's doing now. All I'm doing is clicking over here by the points. So, and it looks like anywhere to the right, even on his name. Even on his name is fine. So anywhere to his name to the right, then you can do that. So now let's take a look at this one. Tailwind. Looks like we're close to max on this. Thinking decent ball here. Maybe Sentry. Maybe even Q. Just to really get that wind down. I don't know if it's going to back up that easily, so this might be good to get this wind down to try to get this ball to back up. Now, what I'm going to do here, this is like what I consider to be 1.90 I use with my 10. This is 4 rings for max here, 5 rings for max. I'm thinking maybe about, after all said and done, maybe 10 rings for max. At least. $10, $11 rings for max here. So that's what I'm thinking. What was my wind? 4, 5. 10 rings for max. Somewhere around here, maybe. 8-1, 8-2. I'm worried a little bit about putting this on low ground. So you'll see that I'm trying to keep this up a little bit and maybe even under pull just a smidge. And it's because I feel like this area that I'm pointing to is less than the green. So I want to make sure that I'm not taking off my distance. Did I just freeze? I'm like froze. Can't even put, I can't touch the ball. I'm not used to this glitch. I can't touch the ball. So we're going to have to readjust. Sorry about that, but I have not seen whatever just happened happen. It's the first time I've seen that, so hopefully that doesn't become a trend with this new update, or something's frozen. If you remember the adjustment, I'm going to go, well, I set up to go, what was it, 8-1? But I ended up going 8 because I do feel like it's kind of low ground. This should allow me to get maybe just a little bit more tight. So you're going to see that I'm going to start my setup maybe just a little bit more towards the cup because I know I'm pulling down to low ground. So that should, and that's something I usually, I usually play the effect, but once I pull to low ground, I feel like it doesn't need that. So I'm thinking somewhere around here. Ultimate shot. Ooh. And it did have just enough, but I didn't quite put just enough side spin on it. It looks like even that ring adjustment was just slightly heavy. Just slight. Just a smidge. And I went maybe 805 there. So right on 8 there, or maybe just a hair less, would have been perfect. But we didn't have the best win there, unfortunately. This is much better. So let's take a look at this. I'm thinking about going Mojave again. And again, like I mentioned, certain balls are now a possibility. Maybe this is even too much. I'm a little worried. looking at this spot, I'm a little worried here. I'll tell you what I'm going to probably do though. I am going to extend so I can just see the landing spot. So I don't think I'm going to use this because I have too much wind. But I just want to see the angle of the pitch so I can fix the side spin. So when I play my ball, I know that it's going to come in at that same pitch. And you can see that this is right towards the hole here. So this is the spot that I want. Now I am going to go back because like I said, I think this is way too much ball. And we're going to play the wind straight up from this spot, which I would probably play in the neighborhood of 10 rings. So we're going to go right here. And then after our adjustment, we're going to just push straight back up to max. So we're just going to straighten this up with my arc here. And push all the way back up to max. And sure enough, there it is, the ultimate. Now let's see if this gets to the hole. I have a feeling it might. Oh, it's even too much. Look at that. But that's why it was so important to get that aim down. Because you could see it gave me an extra. See, and I had no idea because I haven't played this setup yet, so I didn't know if I had to take off of that. Like, I had no idea what that ball was going to do. But there you can see we come in. And we picked up an easy eagle. Now, if I wouldn't have took that extra time, so this is something to think about, that getting that aim down, because I would have been over the green and I would have had to pitch it in. Well, that's fine, but you can see since I took the extra time to really dissect that aim and bring it in towards the hole, it actually saved me. So you can see we got more points than we should have. Here we are. I'm thinking nice century ball here. And this is another one of those holes that you'll see. It's almost like the longer that you carry it, the shorter the ball guide. So I'm just going to arc this to the side. I'm going to try to maybe catch this next hill. So another thing that you can do is you can just precision ring play. I could use not enough overpower. I could use less and just hit a ridge and still get down to this spot if I did it right. But let's see what this looks like. Ooh, we are dangerous. And this is another really bad wind. You don't want to see it usually. You don't want to see it just get up to the hole like this and come up short. Now what I'll typically do on tailwind only here, because this isn't something that I typically do, but I'll do it with tailwinds. So with tailwinds, I'm going to get my alignment like this. We're going to have this pointing right towards the hole. It should stretch out, and I'm going to use my max number. So my max number is, or very close to it anyway. I might not go, so my max is 1.9. And I'm going to go very close to that. I'm thinking somewhere maybe in here. So 8.6 maybe. A little early on my release, it should be okay. I don't think it's going to pull. So you can see it's still going on its line here. Ooh! And just off the left edge coming back. That's why I put that right hook on. You can see that I did that because I wanted to kind of have two outs. Maybe it lands on the hole, but if not, it lands just to the left and it spins back to the right into the hole. So keep in mind that I'm doing that side spin intentionally, and that's something that you want to also consider for yourself to give it that extra chance. So there's no reason that I couldn't have had that. I just got a little bit unlucky. Now here you can see wind straight in the face. You know, I might typically try to go up here into the bunker, just short of the green. I don't think we're going to do that here. I like to put it maybe right around here. We might even go a little bit short here, Because if I remember, up here is enough to get to this back pin location. So I don't want to put myself in a weird place. So I'm almost thinking somewhere down here. So we might just kind of go low on this hill. We're just basically trying to get it to a hive. And again, I'm just going to use one of these sentries. It's a nice ball for par 4, par 5s. Good, very good needle stability. And here you can see we still got this atlas on. We did draw a side wind. So it looks like we can toggle off some of that. So that's what I'm doing there. All right, and here we come back to the hole. Now we have our hive. We're going to try to come at this with backspin, try to figure out our range. Pretty good. We did pretty good keeping it short. We're a little bit off of where we want. This is what, 20 back, 25 back, 28, 29 back. Maybe 30-ish. I'm imagining this is still spinning forward. Yeah, it looks like it is. So there's the bounce. So we can just try to go a little bit more aggressive there. You'll see I put that second bounce a little bit closer to the hole. And I'm thinking maybe 82% here, give or take. Nine 4, 9 5 rings. And you can see what my ball guide looks like. It should scoot just a hair forward. And again, 9 4, 9 5, somewhere in there. It comes in. Oh, it's the wind effect. Man. And oh, you know what? I'll tell you what it was. It's when it's this hole. You land uphill and the uphill bounces kick to the right. Because it looked like my ring adjustment was spot on, but it just continued to move to the right. And I forgot about that. You know, I'm used to it. I'm used to playing this hole with a long iron, short iron, and I usually anticipate that. I didn't anticipate that with the short wedge here. And I should have. Because it looked like my bounce there was pretty perfect. So I should have had just a little bit better round here. And unfortunately, a couple mistakes. But let's try to see what we can do here. I'm going to try to do a little bit more of a precision play. And this is a perfect example of just trying to see kind of what it's going to look like up by the hole. You know, where we're landing. Maybe, let's see what this looks like right here. And this is starting to get right where we're looking. You can see, now what happens when I kick this down? Oh, wow, 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 wow. So I'm going to have to, I would have to land this up here in order for this to be good. I'm thinking maybe just a little bit more to the side, somewhere right in here. And again, I'm going to try to like kind of nail this landing right here. So that's what we're going to be shooting for. I do think that it's going to come in too hot though. So we are going to just try to bump this down a little bit. You think that's good? I do want to get this to the green. It's kind of the goal. So what I'm thinking is maybe somewhere in here. We're just going to straighten this out. And we're going to go the 6.5 rings here, and then we're just going to push straight back up to make sure that we have some precision. Again, the only thing that I don't know is I don't know that this landing spot for sure is going to be where I want it. But we're trying. Hopefully that's enough side spin. I might just put just a touch more on, just to be on the safe side. Like right in here, just to make sure that it doesn't hook into the bunker. So I can kind of visualize and know that the ball's going to land like 6 rings past the target, which is kind of where I was overpowering to. I'm just trying to hit that spot, get this coming up, just miss, and see if it can't creep up on the green. Oh, so we could have got some more tiebreaker points if that would have just, and I almost shouldn't have touched that spin, but I wanted to make sure that it didn't go in the bunker. As you can see, the difference between bunker and where I am is huge. So I did want to just be a little bit careful there. So, you know, either Zeus or Atlas, either or. We're in here close enough that the wind's not going to even play. So you just got to get that ball guide into the hole. And, you know, the tip that I told you guys earlier was, you know, just kind of straighten up your guide. Make sure that, you know, instead of it just look, because you can see how it's just tilted off to the side. So if I could give you some advice, would be to just make sure that you kind of straighten that up. So you can see that's what I've done there, to make sure that that ball guide is running into the stick. It's going to, you know, I feel like this is a little bit safer to make sure that it doesn't deflect off in the event that it is coming in just a little bit hot. The straighter you hit that pin on, the more that it just, you know, dumps right in there. Oh, wow. So a lot of wind here. I'm thinking another century, because this is perfect for this, because we'll probably need to go overpower in this situation. And typically what I'll do in situations like this, I'll try to sit up right up on the green. So something like this. And we'll just try to control our top spin. You got to keep in mind that it's going to collapse down. So I'm thinking somewhere in here might be okay, because of the collapse down. And what also happens when you put all this right spin, headwinds are going to accentuate that. So the ball's going to come in more right than it looks. So, you know, you might be thinking to curl this. I don't think I'm going to need it. I'm just a little worried about, you know, how much topspin to utilize. I know I got to keep it through the hole, and the reason being, if there's so much headwind, it's going to collapse down. If you had a tailwind, you would want to keep the ball guide short of the hole. So you always have to be factoring that in. And like we mentioned, like I already kind of mentioned here, we're going to try to go around wind rings or so. And we'll probably just go full, just to make sure that it hops up on the green. Hopefully I didn't catch a pull. I was a little slow on that timing. Here it's coming in. I don't think yeah, it definitely didn't pull. And you can see my weight was just about perfect there. So just off to the left. But like I was saying, you could see that it started to shoot in, because I had it well to the left. And you could see that headwind just collapsed it down and got it to drift that much more to the right. So we actually brought that in with a really good speed, but you could see that I have my ball guide going through the hole. So you have to play that shot based on the wind that you see. If we have tailwind, maybe we only use 2 bars of topspin. But we try to land in a consistent spot up on the green and not try to, you know, hit on that downslope. And that's why I went for the overpower shot, because it's a little bit safer. The overpower shot is safer. So that's why I did it. Now let's just see where we're at here, because I don't even know what the scores are. But not bad for my first run through. You can see I have a lot of tiebreakers. It's really going to take probably an 18 to get me, because of, you know, specifically that one that I ran into the flag stick. That put a lot of points up on my scorecard. It's going to be hard to beat that shot, because as you can see, very tough. Even if you do roll that on the green, it's going to be tough to get that distance control down. But you know, good luck out there, guys. Take those tips and just try to do the best that you can. As you can see, you know, with one attempt and just kind of looking at that first hole, we're able to really put together a solid round. and not have to use through too many balls. So let's just say people do come behind me. You know, I'm not going to go again, but let's just say, you know, they do and they top me. You know, it's fine, because you have to look at it like this. Say I'm top 3, which, you know, as you can see, I put myself in a great spot to win, regardless. But let's just say I'm top 3. I only used 9 balls. You could see I had like 2 Mojaves in there. They were, you know, not very big balls, and I'm bringing back in 24 balls even at 3rd. So even if I do fall down to 3rd, which I'm fine with, I don't care, we're still netting balls. We're making balls. But we also put ourselves in a position to win. So keep that in mind. And like I mentioned, you know, you can check out the new scores here. So you can see these guys' scorecards. So keep all that in mind. Good luck with your rounds out there. Let me know how it goes. And see you guys next time.